A national security threat. Experts warning about medicines that come in from China. Fox News correspondent Bryan Llenas has the details on that story today. Brian.
Hey, Connell. Well, experts warn we've become way too reliant on China to make our medicines, our painkillers, antibiotics, vitamins, even aspirin can mostly be sourced to a country the Department of Defense recognizes as an adversary. Now, according to Food and Drug Administration estimates, at least 80% of the active ingredients found in all of America's medicines come from abroad, primarily from China. And it's not just the ingredients. China wants to become the world's dominant generic drug maker. So far, Chinese companies are making generics for everything from high blood pressure meds to chemotherapy drugs. 90% of America's prescriptions are for generics. The author of China RX, Rosemary Gibson, says this is all part of China's plan.
In 5 to 10 years, we are at risk of losing our generic drug industry because China will use the same playbook and undercut our own producers and drive them out of business. It's already happening.
As the trade war continues, China is now threatening to weaponize rare earth minerals. The national security concern now is what happens if China wants to cut the supply for our medicines or alter its quality. Many of the medicines used on our troops and veterans can also be sourced to China.
I have no doubt that they would consider weaponizing their dominance of the pharmaceuticals market if they felt that that would give them an advantage over us strategically.
Now, the U.S. Commission on China is holding a hearing on this threat on July 31st. Connell, experts say the first step is identifying what drugs are made in China or sourced from there. Under the law, pharmaceutical manufacturers are not required to disclose where they get their ingredients, and that's a big part of the problem.
Wow, it's an important story, Brian. No, to be clear, no threat from China yet to weaponize it, but it's something people are concerned about. All right, Bryan Llenas, good
here to react, Dr. Marc Siegel, Fox News medical correspondent. So how do I know if my generic medication is coming from China, and what threat or what risk do you think it poses, if any?
You don't know, Melissa. Actually, as Brian just reported, Rosemary Gibson reported in her book that 80% of the ingredients from our drugs that are made overseas come from China or India. And we're talking about things, staples like antibiotics, vitamin C, birth control pills, cancer drugs. Most of the penicillin in the world is made in China. Now, the FDA does go over to China and look at the labs there, but as you might imagine, they're hamstrung about what they can do about it. We had an entire group of blood pressure drugs last year that I use on a daily basis put under scrutiny because of a chemical that was found to be in these drugs that causes cancer. We had to remove most of them from the market. 10 years ago, it was heroin that killed 81 people in the United States, made in China. We don't have the same ability to scrutinize the ingredients or the drug manufacture process there, even without the trade war going on. And it's only going to get worse as it gets ramped up, as China becomes the world's pharmacy.
How big a deal is this? I mean, are you worried about this? I take blood pressure medication every day. I also get generic drugs for my family. I mean, this is, to me, I saw this story and I was very concerned, but I'm not a doctor. Are you scared about this or worried?
I'm worried about the quality control issue here. I'm worried about past times when it's really meant something. And this blood pressure story I gave an example of is just over the past year where we had to remove most of these drugs from the market. This is getting worse. We don't have the ability to quality control. That's the key words there, quality control. I don't know if they're going to hold us hostage to this. They might. They might use it in as a weapon in the trade war. Whether they would deliberately cause Americans harm, that's yet another step. But the quality control part is trouble enough. And we've seen chemists over in China being involved in the illicit fentanyl trade. That's another huge problem. This is an enormous issue. I don't think you have to worry going to the medicine cabinet tonight. You might have to worry in 5 years.
So it's not just generics, right? I mean, it's some of the first labeled drugs as well. I mean, what are the other options for drug companies? And I guess they don't do it just because of expense?
Right, exactly. They're outsourcing it because of cheaper production. Now, India is another place we can go. We can go back towards making more of our prescription drugs here. That would be a pretty good idea, bringing it back home, bringing more jobs here. But again, India is making a lot of the same ingredients. I think we need more oversight in this situation and more awareness of this like we're doing tonight. And look at the drugs we're talking about: antibiotics, birth control, cancer drugs. We've got brand new cancer drugs coming out now, Melissa. Let's make sure they're made here. I think we need to veer away from this a bit and really give it another look.
How does China compare to India, in your opinion?
Well, it's more, as Bryan reported. It's
Well, but I mean, like in terms of quality control and the issues that you brought up.
Great point. I think we have much more of an ability via FDA to look at what's going on in India than we have here. They're much more of an ally right now. I think we should do more manufacturing over there. That's a much less of a threatening situation.
Dr. Siegel, thank you.
Thanks, Melissa.